All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Racha Kodash, double honors, to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me the truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you I say Shalom. This is the brother Yeshaya coming at you again from the Great Millstone Charlotte Camp with another, Lord willing, edifying lesson through the Ruach HaKodesh. And this one's going to be entitled Chanting Down Babylon. Okay. And as we know, Babylon referring to America, right? Because America is spiritually Babylon, you know, or what the scriptures call Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, right? Mystery Babylon. Okay. So just going into the point how, you know, how this word is ultimately tearing down the strongholds, is tearing down the fabric of society, and it's tearing down America as a whole, you know. So we're going to start off with Matthew 24 and verse 14. It says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." You see, so we understand that with this truth out, with this truth being out now, and seeing that it has reached the four corners of the earth, we're seeing prophecy, you know, end time prophecy starting to come to pass. You know, we're seeing the nations, you know, being gathered together, you know, really it's just a build up right now of the nations being gathered together for World War III, right? The Most High is mustering up, you know, all these other nations, you know, rousing them up to come up against America, aka Babylon, right? You know, instilling that hatred in them because of the wine that they drink, and also just, you know, a lot of different shit, you know, that Esau does, you know, his um, foreign policies that only benefit him, you know, different positions, you know, that Esau, you know, only has reserved for him and himself, you know, being at the top. And all these nations, you know, they want a piece as well. So we're seeing, you know, the buildup, World War III. We're seeing the MOTB, you know, advancements on technology that's going to lead up to the mandatory implantation of a micro C-hip, an RFID micro C-hip under your skin, which is going to be able to track and trace, and is going to be the almost like your pass in order to live in his new society that Esau is trying to bring up. You know, what he calls the NWO. You know, the New World Order. You see, and at the center is going to be this micro C hip that's going to be uh, 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 pretty much like like pretty much like a barcode. You know, when you go wherever you go, this is going to be needed to have access to all of Esau's, whether it's goods, services, food, shelter, whatever it might be. You're going to need this thing, right? But anyway, we're seeing prophecy, you know, building up. We're seeing everything, you know, showing that the signs are there, that this is the end time. But why is that? It's all ultimately because the prophets are out here prophesying the downfall of this place. And this word alone is tearing this place down, right? Because we understand that this battle is not a physical battle. We're not going to physically, you know, fight our way out of America, but it's going to be uh, 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 a thing of patience. This is a spiritual battle, right? Where we're going to have to resist the world, and at the same time have patience in our Lord Yahushua to come and deliver us from this current estate or current state, right? So let me get this real quick. Let me get Zephaniah 3 and verse 8, it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." You see, so our task is to wait. We got to go out there and speak, proclaim the downfall of this place, but wait, because vengeance is the Lord's, as the scripture says. So we got to wait upon Him in this current time for Him to deliver us out of this situation, out of this captivity, and bring us back into our homeland, right? And you know, um, this all reminds me of this current uh, salvation that we're gonna go through, Lord willing, we be part of the elect. Kind of reminds me of in the book of Joshua, as I'm gonna read Joshua the 6th chapter. When they went up against the city of Jericho, right? But I'm gonna read it, and then we'll get some more precepts on this. But it says Joshua 1:6. I mean Salakia 6:1. It says, "Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out, and none came in. And the Lord said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor." Right? So the Most High gave the city of Jericho unto Joshua, meaning Joshua, the Israelites, had an advantage because ultimately the Most High uh, uh, has sided with Israel to win. The scriptures talk about how the battle is the Lord's. You see. So anyway, verse 3, it says, "And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns, and and the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets." It says, "And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him. And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord. And he said unto the people, Pass on and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the covenant. Before the ark of the Lord, Salakia. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the trumpets of ram's horns, passed on before the Lord, and blew with the trumpets and the ark of the covenant, and the Lord followed them. And the armed men went before the priests that blew the trumpet, and the reward came after the ark, and the priest going on and blowing the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth, until the day I bid you shout, then shall ye shout. So this is breaking down the process of how they were gonna do this thing, do the or how they're pretty much doing what the Lord commanded them to do, you know, to walk around the city, once a day, blow the trumpet. Uh, uh, but on the 7th day, at the end, you blow the trumpet and everybody shout, right? So it says, verse 11, so the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord went on continually and blew the trumpets. And the armed men went before them, but the reward came after the ark of the Lord, the priests going on and blowing the trumpets. And the 2nd day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the seventh day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass on the seventh time, when the priest blew the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, and for the Lord hath given you the city, and the city uh, shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed, when ye take the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse, and double and trouble it. It says, But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. So the people shouted when the priest blew the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. So the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. You see? So one thing, that comes to mind, whenever I'm reading this, is whenever they had, the seven trumpets and the seven priests, right? And they had the ark, right? The ark of the covenant. The ark of the covenant was, you had the, um, what do they call it? Uh, let me see if I can find it real quick. The mercy seat. Yeah, on top of the covenant, you had the mercy seat, right? And that's, where the priest would use to pretty much communicate with the Lord. You had the Urim and Thummim as well. But there will be, they would use the Ark of the Covenant as their connection with the Lord, right? Well, now with this new covenant, the second covenant, now that Yahweh Shah, you know, came on the scene, we don't need the Ark of the Covenant no more. Our connection with the Lord is through Yahweh Shah, right? So I'm just kind of extrapolating, just how the similarities from this, what's going on here in Joshua 6, just how do you even say it? Parallel, I can't even say it. But pretty much I'm comparing it to uh, our salvation, right? Whenever you read it in the book of Revelation, you know, it talks about the seven angels with the seven trumpets. Each one of those angels, is assigned with a task to bring in the end times, to bring down Esau's kingdom, right? And in the same manner, you had in this story in Joshua 6, you know, you had seven priests holding the seven trumpets, and on the seventh day, because you got to understand in the beginning, it was already told to Joshua that that city was his. All he had to do was wait. All he had to do is do what the Lord said. Go march around, go blow the trumpets, do what you gotta do. And blowing the trumpet is a similitude of us out here speaking the truth, giving out the warning, right? So all they had to do was follow what the Lord told them and be patient and wait. And on the seventh day, which seven means completion, what happened? The walls came down. I mean, they literally went around the the city 7 days. They blew the trumpet. Everybody shouted, and the walls came down. You see. So this is divine intervention that happened back then, and how much more now with us? The prophets coming back, prophesying the downfall of this place. We're seeing, those trumpets being blown. The angels blowing those trumpets, and prophecy is coming to pass. You know, things is happening quick. The end is here. By us speaking this word, this truth, it is breaking the fabric of this place, man. This place is on its way out. just by words, man, just by this truth being exposed, right? Now, or this truth coming to light, I should say. But let's get this. Second Thessalonians 2 and verse 8. It says, and then that wicked shall be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right? So how is he going to consume them with the spirit of his mouth? That's talking about by the way of this truth, by the way of the prophets. Going out there in the highways and byways, chanting down Babylon, right? Through words, we are manifesting the downfall of Esau, Edom, which is going to manifest into a physical destruction, which is going to come by the way of, as it says in the latter part, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, because he's going to come with his chariot, that giant fathership, and he's going to come with, thousands of angels, man, right? That's that brightness of his coming. You see, so it's going to be from us speaking to manifest into a physical uh, 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 judgment that's going to be revealed in the end. Let me see. Let me get another one. Um, bear with me. There's one I had on my mind. Oh yeah, First Corinthians, because we're talking about the trumpet, right? So let's get this. First Corinthians, because this man's place has a set time. As a matter of fact, let me get this. Before I get that, let's get Job 14, because this man has a set time where his kingdom is going to crumble. His kingdom is going to be destroyed, right? And we are in real time witnessing the buildup of this man's fall. We understand that the Most High builds people up with pride, or puffs these people up with pride before he takes them down. And Esau ain't no different. He's getting sloppy. He's getting proud. He's speaking nonsense. He's speaking boldly, right? But that pride has deceived him, and now, you know, is going to come to the point where judgment is going to have to come into play to take this man out, right? Because the scriptures talk about, how pride goes before destruction, right? So, hey, we see that destruction starting to be built up, and that setup, come into play, all right? Because the Most High got Esau in a trick bag. The Most High has him set up. All we gotta do is wait and watch, right? But it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. You see, so his days are numbered. His days, has been determined, are determined, and there's nothing he can do to extend himself further than what was allotted to him. Right? This is his lot, you know, and there's nothing that he can do to sidestep it. All right. The fact that the prophets are out here, like I've been saying, shows that we're living in the end times, man. That's the sign that's the sign of the end. As a matter of fact, let me get that. Salakia. Phone just tripped out. Um, sign of the prophet right here. Matthew 12 and 39. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. You see? Because a lot of Jakes, they want to see, you know, fire rain from the sky. They want to see, you know, Jake talking out there in the streets, and then a solar eclipse happens, like some shit from Apocalypto or something. No, man. Or they'll expect the Most High, coming down in the spirit of a dove and start talking to him. No, man. Not saying the Most High can't do that, but what I'm saying is the Most High ain't dealing with us right now like that on that level, right? You gotta believe based off faith, right? Now we do see sightings of chariots and stuff like that, right? Might or a brother might come across an angel, you know, but for the most part, the Most High ain't gonna come up directly to you and start talking to you, right? But anyway, let me read this back. It says, "But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it but the sign of the prophet Jonas." Right? So this is your sign. The prophets being out here, right? The prophets of old coming back in their lot and prophesying what? Doom and gloom, destruction, right? Was that Jeremiah 8 and verse, bear with me. Hold on, that ain't it. Salakia. Um, Jeremiah 28. Jeremiah 28 and verse 8, it says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, both prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence." See? So this summarizes what the prophets of the past were always talking about. And in this same time, what are we doing? We're prophesying the exact same thing. You know, some of the prophecies that the prophets back then prophesied about, we are reading and apply to right now, right? And particularly Mystery Babylon, right? The daughter of Babylon, which is where we're in right now. And it's been prophesied that this place is going to go out by fire. You see? And that's going to happen at the last trumpet, man. Just tying this in with that Joshua 6. Now let me get this. This is First Corinthians. Yeah, First Corinthians. Because I wanted to get this earlier. 15 and verse 51. It says, "But I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed." What is this talking about? This is going into at the very end. You're gonna have those that are the elect being transformed into uh, uh, them perfect bodies. At the moment, whenever they start, the chariots appear and they get beamed up, they're gonna change in that instant, in the twinkling of an eye, right? And then we're gonna receive those immortal bodies, incorruptible bodies. Let me finish this out in verse 53. "For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory." Right? So as this place gets chanted down at the last trump, which this place is going to go out by fire in the last trump, what's going to happen? Simultaneously, the elect are going to get beamed up and receive that blessing, right? Partake in that new covenant. Now let's get another one. Let's get Revelation 11 and 12. It says, "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them." Right? So this is talking about that same time period, the last trump, right? When the elect get beamed up, this is what's going to happen to those that remain, or to America, right? Verse 13. "And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell." When you look at that 10th part, it's going into the 10 different. I can't remember, I think it was like the FEMA zones that they have. They divided America up to 10 parts, right? So that's what that's going into. So just talking about America, right? It says, in the earth, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, which just means a complete number, because everybody that remains here in America, whether they're in bunkers, whether they're in up in the mountains, whether they're, you know, wherever they might be, if you're in America, your ass is gonna be incinerated. There's gonna be no life remaining here in America. All right. It says, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. See, so this is the fate of America, right? And I'm gonna close it off with this. Let's go ahead and get Isaiah 13 and verse 1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. And right, and this what America is about to face is a burden. Because what's a burden? Something, you know, that you gotta carry, something that you gotta, you know, it's a added weight. It's a That's what it is, man. It's a burden. You know what I mean? But it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Right? And that banner being this truth, you know, is being raised up. Because ultimately, that's a sign of a battle, right? A banner, you know, you have the bannermen. Those are signs that the battle is still going, right? Because this, like I said, this is a spiritual battle, you know, and ultimately, you know, we understand that our Lord Yahweh Shai, He's gonna fight our battle for us, right? But anyway, let me see. It says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. And this word has gone to the gates of the nobles. It has reached the president. It has reached, you know, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Bilderbergs, you know, all the top families, you know, the 13, you know, top families or whatever, you know, they call themselves, the Illuminati, right? So this word has reached unto them, right? And as and they understand that this is what the Most High has determined for them: destruction, death, right? So this is how this man is being consumed as well, because best believe is eating at his soul right now. The fact that those whom he had captive and whom he thought that would never rise up again, talking about the real kings and real rulers of the earth, you know, he thought that they would never come back. But now we are here. We are, man, standing up on our feet, pursuant to Revelation 11 and 11, right? Great fear fell upon them which saw them, right? And why is that? Because they understand with our uprising will be their fall. Our uprising will be their fall. You know, us coming back and returning back to our power is a threat, is a major threat to them. You see? Which is why right now they're scrambling, you know, working overtime to try to figure out some kind of way to stop the elect uh, pretty much from waking up and from fulfilling prophecy. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Esau's trying to change prophecy. He's trying to rewrite what the Most High has already written. You see? But anyway, let's go back. Isaiah 13 and verse 3, it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Who is he talking about? Sanctified ones talking about the prophets, right? The mighty ones talking about the angels. You see? These two are called in to bring in the downfall of this place, right? Believe it or not, you know, we play a vital role, you know, in the deliverance of Israel, even if it is just by us speaking, right? But it says, verse 4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. Right, he's gathering all these various armies, these various nations together. Why? To bring him together for battle. So then he can just, like, it's like they say in the world, take out two birds with one stone, right? He's taking all these birds out with one stone, man. That stone being Yahweh Shai. But verse 5, it says, they come from a far country, from the end of the earth, even the Lord Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. You see? What are those weapons of indignation? ICBM missiles. That's how this place is going to go out. Let me read verse 6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Exactly. Verse 8, and they shall be afraid, pains and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as woman in travail, as woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Right? Meaning you'll be terrified with fear. Right? The shit that we're about to witness, the way America is going to go out, man, is going to be horrific. We're going to be in the chariots, man. We're going to be cheering, but that sight, the sight that we're going to see, that destruction is going to be horrific. It's going to be terrifying. You see? And all of this is happening just by us going out there and preaching his word. That's the power of this truth, man. The power of this word. Right? But anyway, that was pretty much it. That was all I had. I pray this lesson was edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close it out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm going to say Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah.